Welcome to more Gran Turismo Sport Specialtatin. Today, because the FIA actual cups that apparently will count are starting soon, I figured I would specialtate what I believe to be overall my most competitive race. I wouldn't exactly say it's the cleanest or the dirtiest. I wouldn't say it's my fastest or slowest. But all in all, given the circumstances, I think it is indeedy dandy my most competitive. And this particular race came during the FIA Preseason Manufacturers Cup race, which featured Group 4s at Dragon Trail Seaside. As I said, it doesn't really sound as dramatic anymore now that I have gardens. But you know what? Even with gardens kind of making the whole Dragon Trail thing not sound as dramatic, given that this is Seaside, I guess it's still sort of kind of worth doing here. I don't know. Y'all can take it as you may. But anyway, this is this, folks. And I'm not the fastest with this one because it's the very top split there is. And as with many a race, when I'm in a top split, such as like top 21st superstars or what have you, I'm far from the best, honestly, but I ain't downright the worst. So, take that as you may, but the way these point systems go, just because you're far back in the pack doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to get that many points. Because if you're against the best of the best, it still sort of calculates out to where you get as many points for this finishing, say, 12 as you would for like third high split finishing in third or something like that. So, whatever. I don't think I'm going to get too many points if I finish where I am now, but given I've already gained the spot, I'm looking pretty picking good right yonder. Let's hope nothing terrible happens during this turn 1. We are 3 wide, pretty much. I'm on the very outside, not really doing anything wrong. I'm giving that driver room. Actually, almost too much room, because I'm barely even going to be able to make the turn now. But if I lose a spot this early in the race, no big deal, as long as we're all clean. Yeah, I'm just barely going to have room to do anything, but whatever, I'll take it. I can't really complain. I guess that went pretty well, didn't it? I gave that... Oh, for Jiminy Cricket's sake, Speedy! Y'all just saw there with your own eyes. I gave that driver room, being clean, and I still get a penalty for it. What in the blue blazes do they want me to do? Do they want me to wreck the other driver? Jiminy Cricket! And that other driver got a penalty too? What in the... It seems like we were both pretty cotton picking clean there. I gave that other driver plenty of room. That driver, I'd say there was a bit of a tap there, but I mean, nonetheless, I don't think we slowed each other down. That was sort of kind of a dive bomb, but then there was the other car in that equation too, so who was really at fault there? I'd say honestly no one, because there's really no major contact. But yet, us two still both get a penalty. What? Seriously, are we just supposed to wreck each other now? Will that appease the penalty system? I don't know anymore, folks. I don't know. I really don't think I can take that much more of this either. But now I have to, because the actual FIA seasons is starting now. Those are the ones you're actually supposed to race in. At this point, I'm pretty much too scared to even do the daily races anymore, because I know the main season is starting now. I don't know exactly when it's starting, but I know that's the next thing up the bat whenever it does happen. So I don't really want to do the daily races anymore, because I don't want to lose SR of no fault of my own and not have time to make it up. It's a lose-lose situation right now, but let's hope I can at least gain some positions, and I'll call that a win. Well then, that already went pretty good right yonder. And I made it through the Cicada of Chaos pretty good right yonder, so now it's looking up at least. I still have a penalty I don't deserve, but seriously though, if y'all have a solution to what I did there that wouldn't give me a penalty but not wreck each other, leave it down in the comments. Because honestly I have no idea. Given there was a driver right behind both of us, I couldn't have really just backed out there completely, or I probably would have just slowed down or downright wrecked that other driver, because then that other driver wouldn't have had time to react. So given that really we made very minimal contact with each other, and all in all nobody really lost too much speed there, I would say that was probably the best solution. Not according to the game, apparently. But I don't know. I mean, maybe if I would have just wrecked that other driver, I would have gotten a higher penalty. In theory, yes, I should have got a higher penalty, because in theory there shouldn't have been a penalty there at all. But who knows, folks? I literally don't think anyone, including PD, knows at this point. Seriously, I've heard things where PD said this new system is, like, accurate and stuff, but then I've also said they changed the ways in which the penalty system worked for the World Tour events. So, yeah, I'm just going to leave that alone for now. Again, I try to leave the rants out of the Specialtatins, but then again, this is also an FIA event, so it's a longer Specialtatin. But also, this is a very caught pick of good to the point of it's a scary race right yonder. Nobody's made any contact. Nobody's had any penalties during this bit. So, everything's going fine. Holy snikes, everything's going fine. Huh. There's drivers in front of me. There's drivers behind me. This ain't where I'd prefer to be, but everything's still going actually perfectly fine where I currently am at. Huh. I'll take it, I guess, because there's not too much I can do currently. I'd generally rather be at the either very front, ran away, obviously, I'd say everybody would want that, or at the back of the pack to the point of where I can still sort of kind of get the draft, but also I have enough time to avoid wrecks if they happen. Because realistically, with this penalty system now, if you're in the middle of the pack, eventually you will get a penalty, and there's nothing you can do about it. Granted, I ain't necessarily saying I'm gonna stay in the middle of the pack one way or the other, front or back, whatever. I'd kind of rather either than where I am now. But then again, I also don't really just want to downright back off either, because one, I don't really think that driver behind me would be expecting it, and two, who knows how much I can really back off given other drivers have a penalty. They could start deleting penalties at any time as well. So I literally do not know what to do at this point, so I'm just going to kind of continue as I was. That hasn't necessarily failed me yet. Penalty system, yes, that's failed me. But the way in which I'm racing hasn't yet, so I'll continue that. Well, everyone else? So far. And then now it's just a cane of chaos. I'm closing my eyes for this one, folks. I'm continuing the recording, but I shut my eyes. But actually, it went perfectly fine. Yay! I feel like we're using up all of our luck early, and we may just maybe using up all of our tires early. That's not actually too bad a tire wear yet. As I've said in previous videos, the Viper seems to have worse tire wear than a lot of the other cars. I don't think it's quite a big of effect yet, so if I'm gonna gain time, I need to do it now. But then again, I'm sort of kind of starting to be more of where I want to be. I can still see those other drivers' nameplates, and they're battling tooth and nail cleanly. But I don't have someone behind me now. I don't mind if other drivers race clean with each other. That's how it should be. But I still don't want to get involved in that clean racing, even though it's very fun, and I do enjoy racing around other clean drivers, as I've said before. The penalty system still thinks we'd be racing dirty, even when we're all giving each other as much room as possible without wrecking each other. Meaning, if we give each other any more room, we just plain run out of track. I've done that some this race, and it still gave me a penalty, so I'm just not going to get involved in what they're doing, even though what they're doing is perfectly fine. Continuing on, to almost back to the Chicane of Chaos again, I may bring that turn up every lap, just because I have a good chance of wrecking there every lap. That's just me. Some people are better around that turn than others, but, well, I'm not. I'm not very good around this turn. It's coming up quicker than lickety split, and my tires are starting to wear at a point in which I have to really start thinking about it. But Jiminy Cricket, look at that, folks. I'm gaining on someone. I gained on someone through the Cicada Chaos, but again, I don't really want to pass anybody yet. Especially when the person I pass is in a pack, which that person is. So as of now, I'm just going to delete the penalty and stay where I am. And realistically, as I said, I'm going to have to start thinking about tire wear. If I do decide to pass someone who made no major mistakes, I'm not really going to be fast enough to retain it. And then that's just even more of a chance for a penalty, because the other slightly faster car be behind me and just may have better brakes in the turn. Just barely graze the rear of my car, slowing each other down absolutely none, but giving both of us a 10-second penalty apiece. That would be what would happen, folks. I'm not over-exaggerating in the slightest. But, well, there you have it, folks. I actually gained something from somebody making a big mistake there. Which means there's another faster car behind me that's even more than slightly faster, but that car's way behind me. So as of now, I'd say if I just keep on doing what I'm doing, I'm actually looking pretty good. People seem to gradually be making big mistakes in front, in which I can capitalize on. This plan is actually working. Just to lay back, conserve fuel and tires, slowly delete the penalty. I'm not really having to worry about being in any major wrecks, and I can benefit if there are major wrecks. Even though, realistically, I'm not all that high up in the field, this is about where I'd want to be given my driving talent. I don't really think I could be there. I really don't. And I'd rather not be, like, there right now. So here is good, and that's definitely better than here. So, whatever. I'll take where I am and keep on doing what I'm doing, I guess. Yeehaw. How long I'll be able to keep on doing that, though? Well, let's do some math, folks. This is a simple math. It is about to be lap 6 of 12. Which means pretty much halfway. At the end of this lap, it's exactly halfway. So, I could pit after this lap. I could pit after next lap. That would probably be the two best options. If I pit after this lap, I have exactly the same tire wear on both first stint and next stint, and my tires are here. They're definitely worn to the point of I have to think about it, but they're not downright terrible. So I can physically run another lap without having a chance of wrecking. Like, my car's still plenty drivable, but it is slower, and then I would have good tires at the end. So if I actually need to battle at the end, which would be the point in which it is advantageous to battle, because then you can't really wait for someone to make a mistake, because there's just not enough time for that to be a realistic outcome. But if I pit this lap, my tires may be a bit worse at the end, but maybe, just maybe, I can pass some people. But then again, because I'm at the back of the pack, I don't really know if I want to pass people yet. So, maybe I should stay out one more lap. But then again, it seems like I'm starting to lose a noticeable amount of time on the driver in front. Meaning that if I stay out another lap, maybe I might not actually have time at the end to be able to catch up to the point at which I could battle with one lap fresher tires. So, at this point, I'm just going to see what some people up front do and go from there. Because honestly, I don't know. Second is pitting. Third is pitting. Wait for some others, folks. They're not on the screen. Probably better to just show it at this point. Now, Jiminy Cricket actually just caught somebody there, which means I might as well go ahead and pit. Because again, I don't really want to pass anybody, and I've caught someone there, so that means if I stayed out, I'll pass. And then, I don't know where I'd come out if I stayed out, so I'd rather just go in now, so that way I know I'm not downright in the middle of a pack. Hopefully. That's my thinking, and it seems logical, so... Hope for the best, folks. Hope for the best. Hope for the best. That's a big angle of cars in front there that I don't have to worry about. Hallelujah. That's a wreck and a half waiting to happen right yonder. That's literally like 6 cars within 3 seconds of each other. But I'm in the back of those 6 cars. So as of now, I can sort of kind of sit back, relax, and let nature take its course. The penalty system is going to have some natural selection on some drivers who don't really deserve it, and then I'll ultimately get by. That's my thinking, at least. The penalty system decides races more than drivers decide races, so let's just let that happen, folks, and benefit from PD's own mistakes. Yay. Again, I'd always rather pass on speed, but that can't really happen anymore. In this particular situation, especially because I'm just plain not really fast enough to pass to anymore in speed. I started in 16th. I'm now 14th. I mean, I've passed some cars already. Granted, 14th still ain't the best points day, and it definitely is bad on driver rating. But the chicane of chaos is coming. Jiminy Cricket, I passed someone even before the chicane of chaos? I'll take it. But nobody was actually taken by the chicane of chaos, so, I guess that's enough. Fast forward a bit, honestly, because, as I said, I ain't actually all that close to passing anybody else. This is a little bit onward. This is now on to the next lap, and I'm starting to get sort of kind of near some people battling. Penalty status is everyone seems to have one at this point. And I'm 11th. Jiminy Cricket, that pit strategy worked out. Where I pitted a lap earlier, I wasn't losing as much time on track. So, when the people who pitted a lap later and lost some time, I gained 3 spots from that, and there's still no one all that close behind me. Granted, I have a hunch by the end of the race that means somebody's going to be on me like glue. But it's not the end of the race yet, so that means mistakes still could happen, and hopefully just not by me. So as of now, again, I'll just continue doing what I'm doing, because there's no way to know for a fact the people behind me are going to catch up until they do. They haven't yet, so we're good. I had to wait for the chicane of chaos, but now we're good. And Jiminy Cricket, we're even better now. That's another spot gained from someone deleting penalties. I'm actually getting to the point at which we're racing and not just people deleting penalties, but we're there now, folks. We're there, dude. We're there. If y'all get that reference, leave it in the comments and you get a free like of your comment, because yeah, somebody's actually making a live accent version of like the best show ever, which is Cotton Picket Cool. My subscriptions are public, so I'll just say look there and then figure it out for yourself, because yeah, that's cool. We're there, dude. We're there. But anyway, moving on. Also, when I rev my engine at the beginning of races, it's to one of the tunes of like what's popular on that show. Wink, wink. Hopefully, somebody out there knows what I'm talking about. Hopefully. But anyway, moving on completely now. Because now we're to the chicane of chaos, and I need to be really caught picking focused. Like, really cotton picking focus, because now I'm close to someone again. I'm not too close where I'm downright worried yet. Especially because, again, it's starting to be where I have to worry about tires. But it's also starting to be where I have to worry about it's getting kind of close to the end of the race. Not too close yet. But I have to be thinking about many a thing right now. I still have a penalty. My tires are still wearing, and the laps are still winding down. All those things I can't really control. I can technically control the penalty in which deleting it, but getting a penalty later on is not completely in my control. So, for now, I'll still continue what I've been doing the whole race, which hasn't really failed me yet. My driving hasn't failed me. Again, penalty system, different story, but I would say my driving has been pretty good. Jiminy Cricket, I just gained another spot from doing absolutely nothing. Seriously, that wasn't even a spot gained by speed. I just, like, passed someone deleting a penalty. I think I made, like, a grand total of 1 pass on speed this entire race. 1. And that was, like, very early on. So, take that as you may, folks, but, I mean, patience is key in races like this, really. If you do the strategy I'm doing, you kind of have to be patient. You ain't necessarily going to get anybody on speed till more the end. And when you're in a Viper, there ain't all that much of an end because you just don't have that much tire left. But, nonetheless, the strategy still works. So, I'll take it, folks. Patience is key. Speed is also key. You want to keep the pace up. Jacksepticeye generally ride in that because it's pretty obvious. Speed is most definitely key. And patience versus speed. I mean, I'm doing more patience and it's working out, but I think them up there is doing some speed right yonder. And by that I mean the pace of the cars, not the other thing. Do hugs, not drugs and such, and all that, and yeah, but anyway, moving on. The cars have some speed right yonder. I have patience. Let's see how this goes. I do have a Viper, which helps a whole heck of a heap, but I have more patience than I do speed, and that's just truism right yonder. And I don't have too much tires left either, or time. Time or tires. And I do still have a penalty. I will say this though, despite, again, me not deserving the penalty I have right now, it is less than a second, so that driver behind me also has a penalty. So that basically means I don't have to worry about that driver behind me, so I can pretty much just take my full efforts to who's in front. And tires, again, I have to think about it most definitely because Viper wears more, but then again, where I also pitted earlier, there's that to think of as well. That means I'm sort of doubly bad because, as I said earlier, the drivers who lost some time in which gaining a lap later because they weren't going as fast on track then are now gaining that time now. And that's exactly who's behind me now. They're not that close. Jiminy Cricket, am I gaining time still? Holy snikes. Well then, 1.3 seconds means I'm actually good right now. Because, by default, that driver behind me has a penalty, so therefore that driver is not gaining time on me at the finish, unless they delete the penalty, but then they're going that much slower. And they're already over a second behind me, so even if they delete the penalty, I still win, because I only have 1 second of penalty. So, I mean, I'm looking pretty good, folks. To gain another spot looks kind of iffy, but I mean, I qualified in 16th. I'm 9th right now, and who knows what could happen ahead. I mean, for all I know, that driver in front has more of a penalty than I do. And for all I know, that driver in back has not deleted the penalty yet, and I now know that for a fact, so I just pretty much keep on doing what I've been doing the whole race, and it's worked to pretty much the very end. It ain't the very end yet, but it's pretty much there, folks. And it's looking like I may just maybe to get a top 10 out of this after being pretty much the slowest car on track to begin with. I'll definitely take that, folks. And again, I'm in the very top of the top split. I mean, to me, I've been as fast as I could, but I'm well aware I ain't an alien. I probably never will be. So, I definitely took what I got and made the absolute most of it, and let's see if that ends up working out. There's still one more turn, which I'm sure at this point y'all figured out what it is, and y'all probably knew even before this video what it is, that I have to go that I'm a bit worried about, especially on as old tires as are in the race for any car with, well, this car. We're good, folks, we're good. It's looking like I'm pretty much guaranteed 9th at this point, but I mean, who knows, folks, who knows? There could be something crazy happen at the finish. Who knows who has what penalty in the front? It just says that they have a penalty, so I mean, at this point, people are already finishing. A whole heck of a heap of people is already finishing, but luckily that driver behind has a penalty, so I don't have to worry about really where they finish. But Jiminy Cricket, what's going on in front there? That's a whole heck of a heap of madness right yonder. Can I get somebody? Can I get somebody? I think I might have gotten somebody. No. I would have actually got somebody if I didn't actually have the undeserved penalty. Seriously. I would have finished one spot higher if I didn't have a penalty that I got for racing clean. Facts. Y'all can see right there. That's the simple math right yonder. 2. There. And that's a 3. So that's 9 of a second difference. And I had a 1 second penalty. But I will say this. As y'all could just see there from that finish. Seems like every cotton picking driver ahead of me also had a penalty. Like, literally everyone on camera right now apparently had a penalty. And I think that driver actually still had a penalty by the time the race finished. So, who knows who got fair penalties and who knows who didn't. But nonetheless, this is a factoid of information right yonder. I got 1,300 points from this race. Not even officially finishing top half of the field. Not at 18 exactly on half, but it's not really the top of the half. But these races are generally 20 people, so technically it is top half of the very highest split in the world. And I wasn't just ninth in the race. I was ninth in the world for Dodge by the time the FIA preseason ended. As I said, these are manufacturer series races. And my manufacturer was actually pretty caught picking stacked. We had Doodle, we had that driver, we had Z28, and a whole heck of a heap more, and I still managed the top 10 in the world. Dodge is as stacked as it's ever been, so if y'all want to run Dodge, I definitely recommend it. And I'll be there with y'all, and let's see how good Dodge can get overall. Maybe they can win the main season. Forget Doodle. There's a good chance of it. And if we get in more drivers, there's that much better chance of it. I don't know if there's overall manufacturer's points like there is in NASCAR, or if it's just, if one driver has the most points and then just whatever that driver has, that manufacturer wins or whatever. But nonetheless, either way, there's facts of Dodge is more stacked than it's ever been, and I still got a top 10 in the world with Dodge. So, I'll definitely take that, folks. And even if I would have finished 8th in this race without the stupid penalty, I would have still been 9th for Dodge anyway. Because I think I was down on 8th by like 80 points, and finishing one position higher would have got me like 60 more points or something like that. But whatever, I'll take what I got, because what I got wasn't exactly too bad given what I started with. And that's most definitely worth a yeehaw.